All right, you're welcome here on Afia Show. Welcome here to our beautiful Saturday morning right here on Afia TV. I am your host for today, the priest of football, Emeka Maroke, aka Femelo. And sorry for coming in late. We had little technical difficulties here and there, but we're here to give you all that's happening in sports. And before I get into the nitty gritty, I need to introduce my co-host for today and the man, the mate himself, Blessed Zeke. You're welcome.
Yeah, pleasure, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing well. It's a beautiful weekend.
Of course, there is love in the air.
Yeah,
You can't doubt
it's a
that.
special day. Yeah, I almost forgot about. We single pengos we tend to forget about this Valentine's Day. But happy Valentine's Day to all of our viewers. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone, all the lovers of sports out there. Now let's get down into the nitty gritty, and we're going to be starting off with Npfl action right here on Afia TV. So we'll be starting off with the news from Kun Khalifat FC, yeah, and they'll be facing off Barau FC. That's a strong test they are going to be facing this weekend in this match week MPFL match day 26. We've seen their form recently and how they've been able to get back into the action after the whole case with the MPFL board, the fine and all the issues that they had. But now they're back in action. They won their game after this, and now they're back into action again. Then moving on from that, we have news from CAF. CAF are planning to extend the AFCON to 28 teams. That seems like an exciting development there. We saw the president announce it in a speech there that they will be planning to increase it to 28 teams coming the next edition from next year,
Yeah.
2027. That's in Uganda, Tanzania, and
Okay.
Kenya. Then we're moving on to next piece of headline. Tottenham Hotspur, after quite a long torrent few weeks, I would say, I've gotten the services of a new man as an interim manager, Igor Teodor. We've seen some of his records right there with Juventus and Lazio. Not too bad per se, but let's see what he can do with this Tottenham side. You know, a lot of managers have not had great success with this Tottenham team. Let's see what he can do.
Yeah.
Now, moving into the main fixtures for today now, and that's from the MPFL now. Zeke, we're in match week 26 already. We're getting down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah.
We've seen the likes of Rangers. We've seen what defending champions have been able to do this season. Such a poor season from them. Aimba as well. We've seen Rivers United involved in the CAF Champions League and as well having games in hand. We've seen Oga Boys, Ikodu City, how they are high flying in this season. So I want to get your thoughts on Rangers first of all before we go into the general overlook of the MPFL.
Uh, Personally, I think are we talking about Rangers or are we talking about Kun Khalifat or you just want to talk
Let's
about
talk
what's
about the
happening
Rangers.
this week?
Yes, that's happening this week. But let's come from Rangers first before we expand outside Enugu.
Okay. Rangers have not been having a poor season per se. It's not also a fantastic season. I think I've mentioned this some months ago. I think that our team or the team of Fidelis HQ, they they've just been getting over the
Gradually,
line.
yeah.
Yeah, getting over the line. They're around the top echelons of the table. And what matters to me is just how the players respond to what the coach wants, the mentality that the coach instills in the team, uh, how the state government is trying to um, improve and develop
Uh,
the game right now.
okay,
So
sorry
it
to cut
depends.
your thoughts there short. We need to go on a quick break.
Okay.
There's a little difficulty there. Stay tuned on Afio TV for more. Don't touch that dial. So welcome back here on the Afia Sports Show right here on Afia TV. Sorry for that brief interruption there, and sorry for cutting you off short. We had to go on a quick break, but you were giving us some of your thoughts on what's happening with Rangers this season. So let's pick up from there.
Yeah, I was just, buttressing the fact that the season has not been bad for them per se. It's just, I think, um, like I said a couple of months ago, I think about Rangers. This team won the league 2 years ago, so it's not as if it's a brand new concept to win the league or whatever. But I think they just need to continue with the momentum that they are already building up. I think that there's a lot of objectives that they still need to hit, and I think that Coach Fidelis has ideas of what he thinks he needs his players to do, and I honestly believe that Rangers can like I said, hit the objectives that they want to be to attain, and also remain at the top echelons of the table.
Well, I mean, they're just 1 point off the top of the table right now. They sit in fourth. First place is Kyoto City, Oga Boys, with
Yeah.
41 points, 11 points with Rivers United and
Mhm.
Nassau United. But Rivers United have games in hand. They have 4 games in hand. And now we have Rangers sitting in fourth place and Abia Warriors with fifth place with 39 points. So it's quite open if you say anybody could get into that first place by the end of this match week. But the thing here is when you look at Rivers United being away from Npfl action and having 4 points and 4 games in hand, you more likely give it to them to cement their spots in the top of the table. But one thing we don't always get is that games in hand aren't always sure.
Yeah. Points in hand is better than games in hand, or points in bag is better than games in hand. So, uh, but the thing with Rivers United is, I'm still trying to understand how the psychology will be for them when they get back from their continental showdown. I think they have to travel
Yes.
for their last game in the CAF Champions League group stage, which has been a disaster class from them. But
Oh.
I think that's a story for now. They need to finish with that objective and that particular journey, and re-strategize and refocus back to the MPFL, because they are still in a very, very fantastic position. Like you said, 3 to 4 games in hand. They're the defending champions. Just it takes a couple of wins, and they give the rest of their chasers or the chasing pack a little bit of breathing distance. So not too much to worry about. I'm not really impressed with their performance in the CAF Champions League, but they still have their destiny in their own hand. For Ikorodu boys, fantastic season they're having. Fantastic season.
All right.
Yeah.
Just before we go into the next topic now, and let's just take a brief look at the fixtures for this weekend.
Okay.
One game was already played yesterday. Many more to be played today as well as Sunday as well. But let's just take a look at the fixtures coming up there. Barau FC versus Kun Khalifat was played yesterday. Rather, will be played today.
Yeah.
By 3:30 p.m. Then we have Remo Stars against Abia Warriors. We have Kwara United versus Kano Pillars. Economy Warriors against Plateau United. 3SC against Warri Wolves. Rangers against Wiki Torres. Castina United against Wasara United. Aimba against Ikodu City. Bayelsa United against Bender Insurance. Then the last game is Niger Tornadoes versus Rivers United there.
Yeah.
So now I want to get your predictions. Just run through the matches for me. Barau FC, Kun Khalifat.
I have to predict.
Yeah.
Well, I see a draw.
A draw. Okay. Remo Stars versus Abia Warriors.
Remo Stars are not having a good season by their standards from what we saw from them last season. Abia Warriors are, on the contrary, having a better season
Yes.
than we expected. So I'll give it to Abia Warriors.
Okay. Kwara United versus Kano Pillars.
Kwara United to win.
Okay. Economy Warriors versus Plateau United.
I see a draw there.
3SC versus Warri Wolves.
3FC to win.
Rangers versus Wiki Tourists at
Of
the
course.
Cathedral.
Of course, you have to go with Rangers, even if not for anything, just the bias.
Okay, fair enough. Castle United versus Nassau United.
I think Nasara will take that for their challenge in the top part of the table.
Okay, Aimba versus August this City Oga Boys, who are top leaders at the moment.
Wow, that's a difficult game because Imba do tend to do well at home. Of course, they want to put on a performance, and like you said, the Ikorodu City,
Top of the table.
yeah, top of the table. Nobody expected them to be there, but they are still pushing above their weight, and I think they can still shock Imba. So I'll give it to Ikorodu City to win.
Bayelsa versus Bender Insurance.
Draw.
Then finally, Niger Tornadoes versus Rivers United.
Rivers United to win.
Okay. Now let's move on to the next discussion for today, and that's coming from the WAFCON.
Yeah.
Morocco are set to host the WAFCON again this season, and we've seen the draws for the group stages. We've seen the announcements from the board there. I want to get your thoughts now. After what happened for the men in this last edition of AFCON,
Mm-hmm.
are we seeing probably something better this time around when it comes to the ladies stage, because there were a lot of mishaps here and there in the men's tournament. Are we expecting the calf body to do better, or are we going to expect more of the same?
In doing better, what you mean? Do you mean in the
Not just the
hosting,
structure
the
of the tournament itself, also, I mean, bringing some fair rules, and you understand how to package this tournament in a way that there are no shenanigans like we saw in the men's edition.
I don't think the females firstly, Morocco has already hosted the previous WAFCON before they hosted the men's
Yeah,
AFCON. And now they are going to host the second WAFCON that is going to decide those that are going to the World Cup. And the previous WAFCON, it was, for me, a very, very good tournament. Even the males tournament was actually a very decent tournament in terms of organization, logistics,
yeah,
infrastructure, security. It's just the last few games and, the kind of hysteria we normally do have in Africa, based on we feel xenophobic unnecessarily towards one another, instead of focusing on the football. But that's things that happen with football, whereby their tribal lines are drawn, my
yeah.
people against your people and stuff like that do tend to go overboard. But I don't think it's a problem for CAF. I think they just need to make sure that the sanctions are out always, and the players need to focus on the game. And I don't think the females' game is as intense as the males' game. So in that side, I think we have to bring it down a bit. I don't think we need to a lot of focus on those shenanigans for the female game.
All
I
right.
think it's just about the football.
Like you've mentioned now, the AFCON is going to be in the Morocco again. Women are going to be hosting it. That's in Moroccan side now, and this is going to determine who is going to go to the World Cup, like we mentioned. And the most successful side in the AFCON, Nigeria, would be looking to clinch yet another title again. So
Mhm.
let's see how that goes. Let's see how our women sharpen up the boots and hit the ground
I
running.
think that's Project XI.
Yes,
The last one was Project X,
X.
and we successfully defended
Yes.
got the trophy. Now it's about defending the trophy, and I love the way the girls played the tournament because when they started, it wasn't that free flowing.
Yes.
But I think after they destroyed Zambia 5-0, I think the confidence and
Yeah, they
the
began to grow
juices
in
started
confidence.
flowing. And there's somebody I really, really, not that I don't like to single players out,
Yeah.
except if you're Messi, but there's someone I really, really
Yeah.
was impressed in the way she handled herself and the way she came out from the limelight. And that's Esther Koronkwo.
As if I knew the name that was on your mind.
Yeah, I've never seen female football play false nine, and it is not a detraction or to take away from their qualities as footballers and athletes, but the way she played her role, the role she played for that team, even our captain played well, the goalkeeper played well, of course, the defense was okay, but she was the one that unlocked everyone else. And if she can have something as close to that tournament, the Spire Falcons have a decent chance.
All right. Let's wish them luck and hope that they can get another title again when they face off in Morocco. And they have a very decent group there. I mean, it's quite enthralling to watch. We'll get more on that when the tournament starts proper.
Okay.
But now let's move on to the next topic, and that's the FA Cup. Some games were played yesterday, many more will be played today. We saw the likes of Chelsea beating Hull City 4-0 yesterday. We saw some other teams like Liverpool winning Barnsley 4-1. Some very key games, key teams getting through to the next round. Arsenal will be in play today, Man City as well. You see the likes of Tottenham also coming into action. Now, one team will not be there, Manchester United. That is sure.
And Tottenham as well.
Oh,
Tottenham is
as
not
well.
there
Yeah, no, sorry.
because Aston Villa have knocked them out.
Yes, I just remember that Tottenham will not be there as well. But now, I want to get your thoughts on something. Arsenal now, do you think they will have that focus, that drive for this FA Cup fourth round? Maybe, some managers have this philosophy, okay, let's put the importance on one particular tournament over the other. Or do you think Arteta and his boys are well focused now to go on and try and win the quadruple?
Mhm. I don't think it's a matter of focus actually, because if it's by the word focus, I think they are focused. I think they are keyed in, like they are locked in right now. I think for Arsenal, the players, the staff, the fans, I don't think they are in any position to choose any trophy right now. They are in all four competitions, and you have to
The best
make it
of
all. Yeah,
everything.
you have to make it count. They're already in the final. They're first in the table in the Premier League. They finished first in the group phase of the Champions League, and now they are in the fourth round of the FA Cup with an opportunity to enter the fifth round. Why would you have or lack focus when you have a possibility to create history? No team has ever done the quadruple. Even the great pep teams that always came close, they never ever actually succeeded in doing it. And you are still, with your own destiny in your own hands. So I don't think it's a matter of focus. I think it's a matter of application. The way they apply themselves in the game they have today. Yes, they are going to be. Is it today or tomorrow?
Yesterday they are playing
Okay. Yes, of course. They have. They had a very. I won't say it was a damaging result against
against Brentford.
Brentford.
Yeah,
It's not damaging because even if they lose a game, they still have a point above Manchester City. Of course, would they love to have their 6 points advantage? Yes, they would love to have their 6 points advantage, but they are still in the front race, and all they can do is just win their games. I've always said it. I've said it not only for Arsenal. I've said it for Barcelona. I've said it for everybody. If you don't win your games, it doesn't matter what the opponent does because you can't do your own job. So for me, it's not a matter of focus; it's a matter of application.
So let's look at it from this perspective. Why I said whether they have focus or not is,
Mm.
Arsenal are involved in a double game week, of which they've played one game, which is Brentford. They've drawn that game. They have the game to play today in the FA Cup. Then they play again in action on Tuesday,
Wolves.
Wolves. So now, you see the lack of space between the fixtures, and it's coming fast. The end of the league is coming
I don't
fast. The
think
end of
that
the
I don't
season is
I
coming
don't
fast.
are we I don't think that we can even argue or make a complaint, or they can make a complaint about the fixtures. We know this. This is how football is now. Football is like is a business, and Arsenal has one of the most uh well-rounded squad amongst all the teams in Europe right now. So I don't think it's a matter of fatigue. Yeah, fatigue is there. Yeah, injury is coming there. But I think with the way they are progressing, the way they have developed, the way they are matured under Mikel Arteta, and like I said, the way their season have been going so far, they have to see it as a challenge. An ability. They need to summon the ability to rise above these challenges and these
Yeah.
temptations or whatever and try and win their games. Because, like I said, if you do not take care of your business, others do theirs, you have yourself to blame.
I mean, they have only themselves to blame if they don't go on to win all the trophies that are at their disposal.
No,
And
no, no, no. Yeah,
I mean,
you can't say
I'm
that.
just trading
No,
the two bands here. I'm just trading two
okay, okay,
bands
I
here.
accept that.
But I mean, when you see teams that are all well in the running for the quadruple, when they have such a squad like
Also remember,
Arsenal as well,
also remember, it has never been done. Quadruple. So we are talking about
phenomenal.
a rare start, a rare phenomenon, like you say, that has never been done in English football. So we should be egging them on to try and be the immortals, like the way the Invisibles happened. They
Yeah.
have. We should be supportive of them. Even if you're not an Arsenal fan, you should be like, can they do it? I don't believe they can, but can they do it? They can win multiple trophies, at least two. So, but they have to believe that they can win everything that is on the table, and they have to try and win their games. Then whatever falls out, try and aim for for the moon. If I remember
Yeah,
the
I get
analogy.
that.
So if you don't get to the moon, you can fall into the stars. So whatever.
All right. Now let's move on to the next piece of action there, and that's the UEFA Nations League.
Yeah.
The draw is there, and we've seen how some of these great nations were drawn into some teams there. But big talking point is England were given a tough group,
Mhm.
and they have Spain in that group as well.
Mhm.
Shortly, the access will be coming up on screen, but I want to get your thoughts on first the English side and how they fared with Thomas Tuchel so far since he took over. How have you seen their form and their game so far?
Uh, England normally. I I'm not going to follow the easy route. I wasn't aware of the. I didn't check the group, the Okay, yeah,
Okay,
the
there they
assets are
are
there.
now. So
Yeah.
Group A, we have France, we have Italy, we have Belgium, we have Turkey. In Group B, in Group Two rather, we have Germany, we have Czechia, we have Croatia and Greece. Then we have Spain.
I think it's League A, League B,
Yeah,
League
League A,
C,
League
League
B.
D.
Yeah, that's how they're doing. Then we have England, Spain, Slovenia, and Croatia. There we have Portugal, Denmark, Norway, and Wales in Group. That's League A, Group
Yeah,
One.
yeah.
And Group 4 there. Then we have for the League B, Group 1, we have Sweden, we have Switzerland, we have Slovakia, we have Macedonia, we have Hungary, Ukraine, North Macedonia, Georgia. Then we have
Israel.
Israel, we have Austria, we have,
I think that's Italy.
yeah, we have it. No. Yeah.
That's Ireland.
Ireland and Bosnia.
Yeah.
Then we have Poland, we have Romania and Sweden.
Yeah.
Then in League B, in League C rather, we have Albania, we have Finland, we have
Belarus.
then we have Mauritania. So that's how some of these groups are shaped up. But the main focus on this UEFA Nations League now,
We should be looking at the League A because that's
where the main focus is.
Yeah, because that's where those that are going to fight for the trophy.
That's where the giant killers in quote really are now.
It's not even about the giant killer. The people that are going to fight for the Nations League itself are going to be in League A. Then if you get relegated, you go to League B. If you get relegated from League B, you go to League C.
Then you go to League D from there.
For England to be in the group with Spain, I think that you say that's Croatia, right?
Yeah, and Slovenia.
Is that Slovenia or
Czech
Republic?
Slovenia, that's okay. Slovenia.
So it means that you are going to have quality matchups. You are going to play against teams that are almost on similar level as you are. And the thing with international football is you don't normally have the time to, try and coach the players, to try and improve the players, to try and, try to get the understanding of what these players are all about. So I'm not going to cast my judgment yet on Thomas Tuchel. Also, remember, I think as recent as 48 hours ago, I think he was given a contract by the FA.
Yes.
That is going to take him not only for this World Cup that is going to be in June 2026, I think it's going to extend to 2028. So I don't know what the thinking was, because their thinking was we are getting a winner to take us to the World Cup.
Yes.
And his prerogative is to win the World Cup. So for him to now get a contract to now, to go to 2028, maybe you're looking towards the Euros, this Nations League, of course, and the World Cup.
So one talking point about England is usually every time we go for international competition, there's always one dream, which is we're going to be winners. And it seems like they do well from the group stages. They get themselves into the latter stages, then it all crumbles for them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, seeing how Tuchel has started life at England, do you think he's the right man to take them to where they need to be right now? Or is it just going to be another love affair of chasing this trophy and not winning it again?
Oh, well, like I said, you can't judge England based on the performances the performances of the qualifiers, friendlies, and whatnot.
Yeah.
He has played the kind of the San Marinos, the Faroe Islands, people that you expected to destroy, Latvias.
Yeah, exactly.
His one reversal, I think, was Senegal, that he lost 3-1 in a friendly.
Yes, in a friendly.
So it's not been bad, but there's still a little bit of level for England, to improve upon. And the thing about Tuchel is he's somebody that is not, he's not averse to striking egos and making players work for their opportunities. See what he's doing with Jude Bellingham. He's telling Jude Bellingham, Phil Foden, Cole Palmer, and Morgan Rogers that there's only going to be 110. And England is not going to shoehorn a lot of stars just because we have stars. So some people are going to be at home.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's what he's making them get aware of. And I love that.
But one thing we could say about these stars that they have at their disposal is that he has hinted that he has his favorites. And notwithstanding, injuries and all that will also have to come into play, because some of these big stars now, like Bellingham currently on injury, that could probably affect his chances of making the the squad. You're seeing the in and out of form of Phil Foden, the same as like of Cole Palmer. So it's quite a difficult selection when it comes to Thomas Tuchel there. Who do I bring in? I have a Morgan Rogers, I have a Phil Foden, I have a Cole Palmer, I have Bellingham. But injuries and other
There's
factors,
still an Eze.
still an Eze as
There's
well.
still an Eze. There's James Madison. Unfortunately, he has been injured for now. For it will
Most
be
of
a
the season,
yeah
yeah.
for most of the season. So for me, England are going quite well, but I think the test for England will come.
Against Spain.
Is the Nations League starting before the World Cup?
No,
No.
no, it's not.
Yeah, so I think the main test will come for England during the World Cup. Then we'll see.
Yeah, doing the World Cup, but I'm trying to just focus on this
This
UEFA
Nations League.
'cause
We can't understand what's going to happen because there's still
the
a
World Cup to
match.
play, yeah.
There's still a match international break, and of course, there's going to be a World Cup before the Nations League starts. So there's a lot of football still to be played. There's a lot of things that are going to change. Football is not static. Football always, what happens today, next thing is not going to be the same thing. So, like I said, we are still a long way ahead from that. But the group is not bad. Spain is the juggernaut there.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to get into now.
Yeah, Spain is the juggernaut.
We have to
of
talk a
course.
bit about that other strong team in the
Yeah.
group there, and that was the Spanish side.
Yeah.
De La Fuente's men,
Yeah.
La Figueroa.
It's not only Spain, even Croatia.
Croatia have known to be giant
Yeah,
killers
Croatia
before.
have been a thorn in this English side in the past 8 years. The kind of. I don't think Modric can still keep on going. I don't think the body.
Oh, he's still waxing stronger. I mean, still scoring goals in the Serie A.
I think he might retire after the World Cup. I think that's his last.
That
his
might be
last
his
dance.
last dance.
Yeah. So, but the group is fascinating. It's nicely poised. I think the group for me is the group containing France.
Yeah.
France, Belgium, Turkey, and Italy.
Italy.
I think that's for me the group that I would want to watch quite well.
As they say, the certain group of death.
Yeah. And I also want to see the group of Portugal, even though they are the clear favorites.
Yeah.
But you never know.
You want to see what Norway can do.
Yeah.
Want to see what Denmark can do.
Norway just qualified for their first tournament since 1998. So the confidence is still going to be high. Denmark have always, been there or thereabouts in terms of qualifications and tournaments.
Yeah.
And Wales, after their golden generation of Bale, Ramsey, they are trying to build up a new core with Craig Bellamy. So there are a lot of games that are going to be played. And of course, I really enjoyed this Nations League. I really enjoyed it. When it was created, I think it was in 2019, sorry.
Yeah,
but a lot of people didn't believe it. But with the way the format has, gotten and the way it has been and the way teams that never had opportunities are now using it to get slots for qualification for World Cups, for Euros, I think it's a good development. I think Africa can learn from it as well.
I mean, it's something we need to always adapt and see in football. When you see some of these continental affairs there outside the main ones like the Euros and the CAF, you see other mini tournaments that are involved in the continental stage. It's good for development of all these national teams. We see a lot of youngsters also making breakouts there. See a lot of experienced heads guiding these young ones and probably eventually buying out and maybe giving the new generation a chance. That's why I wanted to hit a bit on Spain before we get into the next. You've seen a little bit of some of these youngsters break out into the Spanish national team, like the likes of Yamal, Dean Houston. You've seen Balde coming into the mix. You've seen a lot of youngsters coming in, while some of the old heads are still there. And there's something that we need to also talk about when it comes to Spain. De La Fuente has a particular system of how he plays his setup. Picking some certain players from Barcelona, Real Madrid, and some other teams. You've seen the likes of how they set up, trying to stick to that whole tiki-taka mentality, trying to revive the new formations and everything. But there's something I want to get from your opinion here now. De La Fuente and this national team, Spain, they've had success in the past. I mean, the Euros and some other. But of recent, they've been having shaky performances on the international stage. Most like recently to the Portuguese team in the last edition. I want to get your thoughts about some of these lapses that this Spanish national team tend to have when they play matches against most of the big teams.
I think the game against Portugal was a final, right?
Yes.
So I wouldn't necessarily say it was a shaky performance because if you check the amount of games that they have played under uh, Luis de la Fuente for Spain, I think they have won more games than they have lost. And the amount of losses is not up to double digits yet under this current coach. Like him, hate him, I think he's someone that has finally fostered a sense of camaraderie, in the sense of togetherness with this young Spanish team right now. Like you said, Yamal, Nico Williams, the people that won the Euro 2024. And of course, they have also won the Nations League, with Rodri and co. Um, I think I think Spain will always have quality. Spain will always have quality, both from goalkeeper to defense to midfield to attack. They will always have quality. What matters is how do you combine the players you have to create a cohesive unit?
Squad, yeah.
A cohesive unit whereby everybody's pulling in the same direction. They are not egos. Oh, of course, they're going to be egos.
No, always be clash
Yeah,
of egos.
yeah, they are
yes.
going to be egos because we're talking about potential Ballon d'Or winners. There's a Ballon d'Or winner already inside the team.
Yes.
Yeah, so
definitely.
so I like the way he has managed it so far. I think his main issue right now for Luis de la Fuente is
How to manage some of these stars.
not only that there are going to be selection that people are going to they are eagerly waiting for him. For example, in the goalkeeper department, yes, he has the way he has already set up. He doesn't want the goalkeeper unit to be disorganized because there are certain places that he don't want to change a lot in terms of
Yes.
football. He has Ramiro, Unai Simon, and Raya from Arsenal. But with the way Joan Garcia has
Been playing of late.
from Espanyol to the way he has taken into Barca. Yes, he had a horrible night day before yesterday
against
against
Atletico
Atletico Madrid. Yes, but you cannot deny that the quality the young man has. He is the future of Spanish goalkeeping. Maybe he might not be chosen because of how close it is towards this World Cup, but people are going to be looking at him for this particular Nations League that we're talking about. It is time for him to blood him,
into that team,
to
yes.
blood him in and give him his opportunity. You look at the forward line. People like Nico Williams are not playing well. He's not having a good run of form for the
recently,
past
yes.
12 months. Are you going to give Jeremy Pino and other players opportunities? Centre back Houston is horrible right now in Real Madrid. His confidence is short. It doesn't mean that he's not going to be good. He's still 20 years of age. There are a lot of
a lot of clubs out there.
Yeah,
We
there
also
are- there
have
are
the likes
question
of
marks.
Kobrasi coming into there. There's also still the likes of the old heads like Inigo Martinez there in the mix.
Inigo is not even close by because he was never given the chance, even when Barca was playing well. But I think
All right,
it's
just
going to
briefly
be-
before we end the show here, and I
Yeah.
have to run through Spanish La Liga and
Okay.
because fixtures today. And we're going to be starting off with fixtures by 2 p.m. today by Espanyol Celta de Vigo. Getafe will be facing off Villarreal at 4:15 p.m. Sevilla will be hosting Alaves. We have Real Madrid hosting Real Sociedad. We have Real Oviedo hosting Athletic Club. Real Vallecano will be hosting Atletico Madrid tomorrow. Levante will be hosting Valencia. Mallorca will be hosting Real Betis. Girona will be hosting Barcelona on Monday by 9 p.m. And then that's where we conclude the fixtures for the Spanish La Liga.
Okay.
All right,
Predictions, right? Or
give me a quick prediction before we wrap up.
Elche and Osasuna played a 0-0 yesterday. I was watching it
Yes.
live. Espanyol, they were in form this season, but the past couple of games, I think the last 6-7 games has been horrible for them. So they really need to pick up points against Celta Vigo. But it's not going to be easy. But I think they'll grind out a win, Espanyol.
Okay. Then Getafe versus Villarreal.
I think that will be a draw.
Sevilla Alaves.
Sevilla to win.
Real Madrid Real Sociedad.
The normal mind will tell you Real Madrid to win, but I think that could be a draw.
Okay. Real Oviedo versus Athletic Club.
Athletic Club to win.
Real Vallecano versus Real Atletico de Madrid.
That's the thing with Atletico Madrid. They are, you don't know what you can get. Today
You'll
they
see
win
them kill Giants today, then tomorrow
and they will drop points to the beggar. So I think Rayo Vallecano can win Atletico. Rayo Vallecano to win.
Okay. Levante versus Valencia.
Levante need the points for their fight against relegation. So
Yes.
Levante to win.
Okay, Mallorca versus Real Betis.
Ooh. Betis. Or let's say draw.
Okay.
A draw.
Finally, Girona versus Barcelona.
A Catalan derby to end it all.
Yes.
Barca are going to be feeling very, very sad and down after what
The
happened
first
to
leg,
them.
yes.
And also Girona is they're actually on a good run of form after the way they started the season and how they ended last season.
Yes.
So it's going to be a very difficult game to use to bounce back. But I just see them sneaking in at the win. Barca. Just.
Okay, all right. That's how the La Liga plans out for this weekend.
Yeah.
Juicy fixtures from match week 24 there. Thank you, Zeke, for joining me on today's show.
Pleasure
It's been a
always.
pleasure having you here.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure having you tune in to watch us right here on Afia TV. We love you right here from Afia TV. Happy Valentine's Day to you all. Stay blessed and enjoy yourselves. Don't forget about our partnership with Afia Sports. We're going to be showing our match tomorrow by 3:45 p.m. Yes, 3SC versus Warrior Wolves. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow. Don't touch that dial. Keep watching Afia TV. Thank you, Moxie. Thank you, Victor. Thank you, Mr. CC, who is in the MCR today. Thank you, Diamond. We respect and love all you do for us. This is Omeka Madoke saying goodbye. Stay tuned for more next week.